let's see what's going on. We got Sean from his actual Justice Warrior YouTube. That's his handle, or this is him. Anyways, he's got Pierce Morgan with us. I guess he watched the Crashout. That's what she's saying. Rage quit.
I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. You people have gone out
You're
of your
absolutely
way.
right.
You have gone out of your way.
No, let me make the case.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, this guy is what's his name? Andrew Wilson. That's right. Andrew Wilson's part of like the he has his own podcast. He does like the whatever stuff podcast sometimes, and then he has his own like Crucible debate podcast or some shit like that. I don't remember. But he's basically like a left-leaning libertarian type of guy.
Make the case. Let me make the case.
Oh, yeah,
Will you allow me to speak, brother? Come on, man. Come on. No. You haven't made the case. If you think I've made the case, then you're not interested in dialogue.
You just said this brother over here said this.
You're very, very different than Brother Charlie, man. You're very different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can make the case for that,
people
too.
like you that got that man killed, sir.
No. There are such a thing as neo-fascists. But Pierce, why you have a brother on who's not gonna allow nobody to speak, man? We're just wasting time. If all you're interested in is making your money and you
was he talking about that 16-year-old that went on a fucking school shooting in what was it, Colorado?
Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's gonna say, oh, this kumbaya and so forth. No. Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Pierce, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Is Charlie Kirk part of the neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
They called this guy they called this kid a neo-fascist.
Says that
they called him a neo-Nazi.
Right. Does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag.
He was a radicalized
shooter. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, Brother Wilson. You're absolutely right.
Just like
but
our
if all
shooter
you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like
Charlie
the so-called leftists you're talking about.
Who's behind
but Pierce,
bars.
you making your money, brother.
Tyler
Go on and make
Robinson
your money,
or
man.
whatever.
It's all about making.
Not worth it.
Cornel,
this brother
it's all
right
about
here
making
is
money.
part of the problem. This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen, but this brother's not willing to
Cornel,
listen.
can you sit down? I would like you to
I'm leaving. He just started smoking a cigarette.
Come on, man. Dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money.
Why don't you cry?
Right. Well, it's kind of farcical to quit a debate where we're literally debating about the importance of free speech and being able to listen to each other's opinions, which seems to me completely insane.
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. Oh, man. I guess making fun of him in the Boondocks wasn't enough, I guess. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And then, we have, what does Valiant Renegade say? Actually, you know, let me play the video first, and then we'll read what he said.
Since Charlie Kirk's death, when Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday ending every conservative debate.
As you can see, Destiny's trying to be edgy and like... he's basically trying to play the kids crowd. Because he likes trying to flirt with kids for some reason. He's a pedophile, right? He's a predator, in a sense.
Call out I do in 2026.
Sorry, allegations.
Dodge, bro. That's
just
not what Charlie would have wanted. I mean, do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden.
That's a leap. What? Also, what does Donald Trump have to do with anything with Charlie Kirk? I mean, yeah, sure, Charlie Kirk was right advocating for Trump to be president, right?
Came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on.
But there was a lot of other people advocating for Trump to be president
under
too.
Donald Trump,
not just Charlie Kirk.
The recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years,
so
the
it's like,
of it,
yeah, this is the other thing, right? They singled this person out for no other reason than they debated in a way that they didn't like. That's all it sounds like.
Overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
white
dude.
described.
He wasn't
Destiny.
trans. He didn't have a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry, excuse me, when?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college? Not
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do know the very reasonable sounding
true.
governor of Utah has made it clear that the
he hasn't made it
you may
clear.
not want to
hear
this.
An ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny. But the
it's true though. He did. He did put out some.
Have established
that he
was radicalized to a leftist ideology.
No, it's not true.
To murder
it's
Charlie
not
Kirk.
true.
And let me just ask you.
That's not true.
I blame Trump.
That's your prerogative. But if it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
Wait, okay, so why does he say all of us? Why are you lumping in normal citizens who don't do politics? Literally. Right. Are you going to try and force them, Destiny? Is that it? Are you going to try and force people to comply with what you want? Are you trying to coerce people into doing what you want? Is that it?
YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he can't?
Honestly, Trump doesn't have to do anything. Nobody has to do anything. Why are you trying to force that on anyone? In a free society where individuals matter, why are you trying to force anyone to do anything? Why are you that weird? Why are you a weirdo?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't Trump go on TV and say, all of us should be less violent?
Why do you think
Trump say that?
Why do you think
your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think?
Your
No, let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing. This was right. This whole thing was about the incident with Charlie Kirk, right? Not Donald Trump. I mean, yeah, sure, Donald Trump said some others, right? Some side stuff, sure. But the incident involved is Charlie Kirk and this shooter, right? That is the criminal investigation. Yes.
President of the United States of America and the leader of the opposing political party.
Destiny. Let me
You have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken.
I mean, the Young Turks have said some interesting
You do the
things
opposite.
too.
You represent the worst of us, Destiny.
I mean, it's funny to see Anna Kasparian, right, come after Destiny. I mean, the funny thing is, they're right. Destiny and Anna Kasparian, right? The Young Turks, they're basically on the same side, but they fucking hate each other. There you have it. What is this? Destiny is a willing tool of pure evil. His brain is utter. Well, I mean, at this point, I don't think Destiny really cares about people anymore, given everything that's happened to him up until now. Right? It seems like he's right. He has that antagonistic personality where it's like him versus the world, right? So it's like, and the fact that he keeps doing that just pushes certain people away from him. But I mean, there's obviously people who like that mentality, obviously, because people watch him. Yes, right. It's like it's the same effect as what Andrew Tate and some of those red pill fucking guys get. Right, like Wes Watson, right? Those fucking guys, right? His brain is beyond utterly broken, beyond the point of saving, because he is willing to live in reality. Unwilling to live in reality, or accept the truth, not his truth, but the truth. He represents everything violent and abhorrently. Well, I mean, look at his relationship. I mean, I don't want to say his relationship. I mean, look, given his past, he tends to be flamboyant, right? He's antagonistic with everyone. He has to push people to the brink, right, for some fucking reason. And then he's got all that, right, the litigation going on too. So it's like, yeah, I mean, just given his behavior over the past, I don't know, ever since he's been talking about politics, right, his behavior has been flamboyant, right, abrasive in a sense. Antagonistic, yes. They bathe themselves in the stench of a demonstrably false righteousness, incapable of morality, and a cognitive dissonance that defies all belief. Yeah, basically. America must stand united against this. The excuse is the illogic, the death culture. Yeah, you can. You can blame Hassan and Destiny for a lot of people love that stuff, right? They love the gladiatorial death culture that is of blood sports, yes. We can either rise to meet the armies at the gates of hell or be consumed by it. There's no middle ground, there's no moral equivalency, we are unequivocally not the same. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously. Right? Genetically, we're not the same, in a sense. I mean, yes, sure, we're humans, but we all have our own individuality. And, I mean, you could see it fucking leaking out in, people. Especially Destiny and Hassan. And, the radical left people who, cheer on the death of people. Anyways, there you have it. And then what do we got? We got Gutfeld right here.
We don't need it. What is interesting here is why is only this happening on the left and not the right? That's all we need to know. There's absolutely no cognitive...
What about Melissa Hortman that we just talked about?
You want to talk about Melissa Hortman? Did you know her name before it happened? None of us did. None of us were spending every single day talking about Mrs. Hortman. I never heard of her until after she died.
Doesn't matter?
Don't play that bullshit with me. You know what I'm saying is there was no demonization, amplification about that woman before she died. It was a specific crime against her by somebody who knew her. The same. Now you could bring up Josh Shapiro, but then you will not bring up, for example, that was a pro-Palestine person. So don't use your. What about this? The fact of the matter.
Well, yeah. What about Bobby Vallon, who cheers on the
fly. We don't
the
care.
Hamas movement
We
of
don't
trying
care
to
about your both
right,
sides
take
argument.
down
That
America.
shit
I mean,
is
do I
dead.
really have to
For
bring
one
up
thing,
the
there's no
Hamas
cognitive
flag?
dissonance on our side.
Or right,
on your side,
I hate to
your
say it, but some of the
beliefs do
Palestinians
not
that help the
match
Hamas
reality,
people.
So you're coming
right?
up with these rationalizations.
I don't
like,
want to bring up
what
that
about
flag
this?
because it's
Or what
fucking
about that?
terroristic
We're
in
not doing
nature.
that because we saw it happen. We saw a young, bright man assassinated, and we know who did it. We are not coming up with rationalizations. We are calm, we are honest, and we are resolute. We're not defensive, and I understand the defensiveness. I understand why people are saying, what about this and what about this? Because if you have to face the underlying
Yeah, what about
fact of this,
Arena?
your life
Or
is gonna
Daniel
fall apart.
Penny. Yeah,
Because you're gonna
why was
realize
Daniel Penny
you're
attacked?
not the good guys.
For just trying
If
to
you
protect
sat
people.
around and you defended
So,
the mutilation
right, when
of
some
children,
crazy dude
you're
went off
not
the deep
good
end.
guys. If you
Or
sat
why is it
600,
when
700
police
cases
officers,
of
right,
harassment
take
against
down
Republicans,
right
and you
crazy
said,
people
"What
who
about this? What about
go
this?"
off
And
the
then you
deep end,
see
and
this
unfortunately
murder
they
after
have to
calling somebody a fascist,
discharge their
you
firearm,
fascist,
right?
you realize,
Why does
maybe
everyone
I'm
get
not
on
the
their
good guy.
back when,
That is a hell
right?
of a
They're
realization to
clearly
deal with.
in
So therefore,
right the heat of battle.
you have to
Like
grasp
what?
at rationalization.
What the fuck?
You don't have to do that, Jessica. They do. I don't believe you're part of that group, but why the hell do you have to?
Why do you think
mimic
you
and
guys
echo
got
that
body
crap
cams on
to
police
us?
officers
He was a
nowadays,
patsy.
right?
That guy was a patsy.
You
He
guys
was
wanted
under
it.
hypnotic spell
You got it.
of a direct-to-consumer nihilism, the trans cult, and you know that. If you can decide that biology is false, you can agree that murder is okay and that humanity is expendable. How you cannot see that alone and see that for what the evil it is without having to attach all of these other things is beyond me.
I just want to be clear, and I want to let people speak. I in no way intended at all to minimize what happened to Charlie. I was horrified by it. I have not been on the five
but
since
the two
then.
sides argument, well, it's like pig Latin to a duck.
No. All that I was saying is could we have all of the information before you just say they did this? Because that is a broad brush to paint.
Well, I mean, the Utah
let's have a
governor has already
conversation.
come out
Charlie
and
had a
said some
conversation. I got
interviews and some
shot.
statements, right? He's already corroborated some of the
I'm sorry.
information.
I'm sorry,
I
you
mean,
weren't here for
they're
a week.
already going
You
into
came in
what
here and
a
it's
hearing
cold,
on Tuesday.
And I'm sorry,
Right,
but this is
tomorrow?
a story that is immune to news
So
cycles.
I mean,
it's
they're
immune
gonna
to
have a hearing
rationalizations, it's
tomorrow
immune
to
to
set
bias.
up a
This thing is with
schedule
us for
of
good.
right more
And we all
court
have to deal
stuff.
with that. So that means we can't live by the same arguments that you might be reading about relativism among the media. We can't deal with those stories. It doesn't matter. The media is dead to us on this story. They built this thing up. We're dealing with it. We're going to act. We don't care what the whataboutism is anymore. That shit's dead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean,
For the swearing as well.
also to the fact, to the other thing is I mean, he's being tried in court now. I mean, the court system will sort it out in a sense.
Apologize to the American public. I'm going to shut up for the rest of the show.
Right, it's up to the DOJ. Right, it's in the DOJ's hands now. What do we got here? Democrats are responsible for recent tragic events. Uh-oh.
This is Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader of the House of Representatives.
Yes, he
On
is.
September 8th,
Discount
he
Obama,
announced
discount
the
Obama.
Democrat members of Congress who would be assigned to the Republican-led January 6th Select Subcommittee. That group includes Eric Swalwell,
Give him a like and subscribe
best
if you
known
want
for
to check out
cavorting
more
with
of
a
his
Chinese
content.
spy, and the following clip.
Don't
Chris,
walk,
so
run
far,
production.
The evidence
Oh,
is
it's
uncontradicted
Swallowwell,
that the president
Chinese
used
spy,
taxpayer dollars
CCP
to ask the
hack.
Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
Classic. That group also includes Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas, who doesn't quite understand the role of law enforcement.
Pretty much.
I want to be clear that, like, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, okay? That is what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent them from happening, per se.
There are some really stupid people in Congress, but no one more stupider than Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah,
and I'm
they're-
sure with Crockett and Fartwell
They're
on the
supposed
case,
to protect
that
the
they're gonna
public in
get to the
peace.
truth of what really happened on January
Even in the heat of
6th.
the moment.
And then there's Representative Jamie Raskin from Maryland, who we all know is one of the worst human beings in Congress.
It's rat skin.
When private comments made by federal employees are scrutinized for anti-Trump bias, and they can lose their jobs because of it, then we've entered the realm not just of Vladimir
if you're watching
Putin,
this,
but of
rat
Joseph
skin's
Stalin.
trying to besmirch your
Jamie. President Trump's firing of bureaucrats means that President Trump is just like Joseph Stalin.
You might be able to get
Although I
some of
think
these
Stalin's
politicians for
lost more than
fucking
their
defamation,
jobs.
to be honest.
The president and the MAGA
Especially if they're trying to hurt
followers do not
SpaceX and
stop
like
returning to the scene
your
of their
Tesla
crime.
stock. Oh,
That
remember
gives
the
us the
Tesla
chance
stocks
to
and those people trying to
educate
firebomb your
new,
Teslas? Hey man, you
generations
could
of
kind of blame
Americans
that on
about
the
dangers
rhetoric of the
political
left, you know.
authoritarianism
Just saying.
and about the dangers of political and religious cults.
Calling your political rivals fascists and authoritarians
I don't know if you
is
got
the
a legal
exact
team to
type
do
of
that, but you
rhetoric
know, just
that got
saying.
Charlie Kirk killed and inspired not one, but two assassination
Or the death
attempts
threats
against
you've been
President Trump.
possibly getting,
We would
right?
much prefer to be
Just
working
because
on
of who
something
you are.
positive, forward-looking, but they want to look back, and so we say, fine.
Raskin and his fellow Democrats have been screeching about January 6th for 4.5 years, but now we want to move forward. Look, they're just upset that they've controlled the narrative, and now Republicans are going to take it back.
Yeah, also it's right. It's mainly because they lost all the the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
With the new
Right, they've had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for so long, and now that they lost it, they it's unfathomable to them. They're having a fucking global crash out.
So, according to Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, there are less than a dozen people pardoned for their participation in January 6th who were subsequently arrested and charged with other crimes. However, that list doesn't include anything about any of those people being white nationalists. But whatever, let's take a step back. Raskin is concerned.
Oh
that
yeah,
people
or
with
the
criminal
spouting
records
of
are being
white
released
supremacy
back
that
onto
some of
our
these guys,
streets.
right? The
Yeah, he
Jasmine
said
Crockett
nothing
crowd and
about
right,
Hugo Hernandez
the Fannie
Mendez.
Willis crowd
Hernandez
are
Mendez,
about.
who was living in the United States illegally, has been charged with the murder of 19-year-old
Oh
Takara
yeah, this one.
Thompson.
Yeah, we saw this
According
one.
to reporting by ABC 7 News in Washington, D.C., Hernandez Mendez
Yeah, he was
pulled
an
over
illegal.
for a DUI
Yeah,
back in
he was an
April of
illegal
this
alien.
year. He was hit with 9 different
And
charges,
yeah, he had a criminal
including
record,
operating
too.
a motor vehicle while under the influence, having an open container of an alcoholic beverage in a vehicle, and driving a motor vehicle on a suspended license. But since the U.S.
Wait, notice how they said race is white. Did you catch that? Oh, you can't see that. They say his race is white. Motherfucker's a Mexican. Excuse me? Motherfucker's from Latin America. You see that? It says white right there. So, see? So even the police document that they tried to do is trying to be shady as fuck. You see that shit? What the fuck?
on a suspended license. But since the U.S. Park Police were the ones that pulled him over and arrested him, he was in federal.
Does that look like a white guy to you, by the way? Yeah, I don't know about that one. I hate to say it. Right, it looks like he's from fucking South America.
Custody, but instead of holding him in jail and contacting immigration and customs enforcement, he was released. Here's Takara's mother, Carmen Thompson, after hearing that detail from a reporter.
I'm very disappointed, finding that out now, because we may not be here today. If
another right, Dakara.
They were supposed
right,
to
you had Irina now,
occurred
right,
in
Dakara,
his state,
Irina.
Jamie
Right, you
Raskin
have
and
some
the
of these people.
Democrats
It's like, what the fuck?
remotely concerned
What are you
with an illegal
doing?
alien with a
Why are you
criminal
letting
record
these people
being
in?
released back on the streets. Here's Carrie Pickett, a congressional
Jesus.
reporter from the Washington Times.
Mr. Jeffries, Democrats right now are being pounded by Republicans about cities within your states, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, about situations that are happening right now, whereas you're talking about a situation that happened 4 years ago where an unarmed protester was shot and killed by a Capitol Hill police officer with his own record.
What outlet are you from?
The Washington Times. So I'm curious here. Hold on a second. Why is it that Democrats don't want to hold that particular Capitol Hill police officer with any sort of accountability.
Look at their reaction. They think that Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed protester, deserved to be shot and killed. But let's continue.
As far as the cities in which the states that you're from, you don't want to deal with the crime that's actually going on in your own states. And Mr. Raskin, you're laughing.
Is there a question there? No, I'm laughing at you.
You're laughing, but a woman was just killed in your state, and you don't want to address that either.
And of course, Jamie Raskin doesn't care to talk about the murder of one of his constituents because it's not politically beneficial.
Yeah, they don't talk about it because it hurts them politically.
It's really
That's why they
sickening.
never say anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to address the ad hominem foolishness that was just articulated.
The definition of ad hominem is an argument or reaction directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining.
Yeah, there was
Washington
not an ad
Times
hominem
reporter Kerry
attack.
Pickett was asking
He
why
was not a
Democrats
personal.
seem
Right, he
more
was just
concerned
asking a question about your
what supposedly
state.
happened on January
But then you
6th
somehow
than
made
the
it
violent
about a
crime
personal
that is
attack. I'm
occurring
sorry,
in the
what?
here and now. She wasn't attacking any of them personally.
Yeah.
She was criticizing their
Your
actions
state, yeah.
or lack thereof. In other words, Timu Obama doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah,
But
discount
what I will
Obama.
say very clearly is that we have, as Democrats, been very clear that we're going to support local law enforcement.
Yeah, it doesn't
and do what is
say-
necessary to help them do their jobs, as opposed to doing what Republicans have done, which is to defund the police and rip away grant
right here.
funding
Wait.
for
There it is.
local law enforcement.
You hear that, folks? It's not the Democrats who have been
But he's
calling for
from
defunding the
like
police.
Cuba or
No,
something, right?
It's the Republicans. Got it. So recently, the Democrats on the Appropriations Committee issued a press release titled
This
House
is like the
Republicans defund law
I think he was in
enforcement and give
Maryland.
violent criminals a
So he's
free
another
pass.
Maryland man.
This is where Jeffrey bases his
basically.
claim that Republicans are ripping away grant funding for local law enforcement, and it's nonsense. According to that press release, the Republicans' extreme 2026 Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agencies funding bill defunds law enforcement and makes families, women, and children less safe. Then lists a bunch of grants that include Violence Against Women Act grants and juvenile justice grants. So, two things. First, these grants are not going to police departments. They're going to nonprofits. Second, these grants are not being ripped away. According to the Democrats, for 2026, the bill provides $79 billion in discretionary funding, a $2.1 billion or 2.6%
So as usual,
cut
the Democrats
below
are trying to lie about
2025.
it.
And that brings us to the final congressman
They're trying to
assigned the
take
new
away
Select
your
Subcommittee
money.
on January 6th.
Oh, you dumb
Jared
idiots.
Moskowitz of Florida. Moskowitz fancies himself a centrist Democrat, but then says stupid shit like this.
Well, look, I've always backed the blue. Yeah, look, there was some of the folks on the far left that did this defund the police nonsense. It was short-lived. It disappeared. Republicans just defunded law enforcement in their big, beautiful bill. So both
That
sides
never happened.
have dabbled in it.
He lied about the big beautiful bill. He just lied about what it did. It literally helped more law enforcement. It literally helped the border. It helped the it literally helped the industrial military complex. Like, like what?
And obviously, there's a perception issue, which is why I think you could be clear here that we're tough on
Like, it
crime, we're serious
literally
on
helped a
tackling
lot of
crime.
things.
So
But
according
it
to
meant
Moskowitz, who is from
spending
deep red
some
Florida,
money too.
cutting spending on grants going to nonprofits is defunding the police. Enjoy your last term in office, Congressman. And the claim by Democrats that Republicans are
Also, they have to
giving violent
reassess
criminals a
right.
free
They're
pass
reassessing
is
stuff too.
projection.
They've been reassessing
And you know
stuff
who
for
got
the
a free
past
pass in a
ever since
Democrat-run
the
city?
right Trump got
A
into
career
office. They've been
criminal by the
reassessing
name
stuff.
of DeCarlos Brown Jr. DeCarlos Brown
Oh, yeah,
has
this
been
guy,
arrested
DeCarlos.
at least
Yeah,
14
times,
in the
yep.
state of North Carolina and charged with everything from assault on a female, trespass in the second degree,
This is the Irina
violating
case.
parole, possession of a firearm by a felon, robbery with a dangerous weapon, breaking and entering, felony larceny, and so much more. And most recently, he was charged with the first-degree murder of Irina Zaruska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who was riding a light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Miss Zarutska was sitting in front of Brown, who sat up and stabbed her multiple times with a pocket knife. She died moments later, and Brown was arrested soon after. And he was a fair jumper, of course. He wasn't even supposed to be on the train. So add that to the list. But these Democrats like Jamie Raskin are more concerned about January 6ers being pardoned than career criminals.
They tried to bring up the
aliens
January
who,
6th committee a second time. Like they want to try another committee to try and do the January 6th thing again.
With that said, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge the late, great Charlie Kirk and give my deepest condolences to his wife Erica and his wonderful family. Charlie, you will be missed, and your message will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching, everyone.
There you have it. All right, and you know, that was from... That was from Don't Walk, Run Production. And then we got The Internet is Real Life.
Welcome back, Patriots. This is the Real Film Seeping YouTube channel where I give cultural commentary. Today, I am going to talk about doxing and the radicalization of Tyler Robinson, who is 22 years old and took the life of Charlie Kirk.
So this is about the
most
Charlie Kirk
public fashion
shooter
that we have seen on a political figure since JFK. Okay, first things first. The internet is real.
Yeah,
life.
I would say
I see a lot of
JFK,
people trying to make the argument that the
Martin
internet
Luther
is
King,
not
because
real life.
right,
And
Martin
I
Luther
need
King
you
was
to
obviously
understand
also
that
a
your
political
average
figure.
person of average intelligence and average
In the same
discipline
wheelhouse.
is terminally online. They are addicted to their screens, and if they are addicted to their screens,
I mean,
they
I
are
guess
being
you can
heavily
liken him
influenced
to
by
fucking
social media.
another
I don't know
political
what anyone else would
figure
be on
like
their screens
Lincoln,
to the
right?
degree that most people
John
are,
Wilkes
if
Booth.
not for social media. Think about it. If you took all your social media apps on your phone, how many minutes of a day would you really spend on there? And you could argue that possibly YouTube is social media, possibly it's not. I don't view it quite the same as other social media platforms. You know, to me, it's like my replacement for television in a sense. However, this argument that the internet is not real life is wrong. Culture is created and developed oftentimes online right now. The social media platform X is often referred to as the marketplace of ideas, and it is the beginning.
Correct.
Often,
Especially when you got a bunch
political
of
discourse
ad
across the nation.
companies
I was
coming
on
in
X
and
before the
asking to
election
promote
happened.
on their platform.
There are
right?
things that Trump has done since
Yeah,
the election.
it can bring in a lot of
that
money.
have told
Right? If
me
you look at
and other
Facebook or
posters
any of
that
these
they
other
actually see what we
platforms,
say online.
yeah, you got a
And
bunch of
if the
companies
internet
promoting
is not
stuff
real
and
life, then
getting
Charlie
paid
Kirk
to do
would
it.
be alive right now. The young man, Tyler Robinson, comes from a Republican family. I don't know if he had an intact household or not, but what I do know is that he was on Reddit and Discord. I have been on Discord. I have talked to leftists on Discord. I have
I don't
tried
use
to
Discord a lot anymore.
I tried to debate leftists while they sought to humiliate me. I tried to talk to them on Discord. If you are
Oh,
a
yeah,
Christian
that seems
parent
to be
and
the
your
running
child
theme.
or your teen is on Discord,
I mean, I'm not saying right. It's usually the radical people
could your
who
child
fucking
be on
dehumanize
Discord
people,
because
right?
you're a sweet, wholesome young woman who wants to follow a homemaker on Discord? Absolutely. Could your child also be on Discord because they want to talk to adults who are communists, Marxists, and socialists, and you're not paying enough attention to them or loving them well enough and not exhibiting the light of Christ enough to them, so they're seeking that love, attention, affection, and camaraderie elsewhere? Could they be getting radicalized by these figures on Discord? Absolutely. It's a leftist favored platform for what I can discern.
I mean, just
from
look
my
at Blue
use on
Sky.
it.
Yeah.
We know about Reddit.
I mean, that's a whole
We know
other
what happens
beast,
if
right?
you're right wing on Reddit. If there's a
With game
right-wing
companies
subreddit
and tech
or a
companies,
Reddit
right?
page, it is poof, it's gone, right? So we know where Reddit leans. I have had these leftist abominations start terrible, awful rumors about me on Reddit. I've been on a subreddit.
Sounds about right.
With
As one does.
of leftist feminist women
Like
who
usual.
have terrible, awful things to say about me and my family that are disgusting, that they would never say to my face because I am a better woman than them and they would be foolish to do so. And I think they know that. I think they know that we never say these things to my face. So there's like a lack of confrontation that allows people to say online what they really think.
But yes,
So-
as you can see, right, if you want to take a look at more real sapien, Right. I just wanted to show a little bit of her video because, I mean, right, you can see that even her, right, who's probably not, she seems pretty level-headed, right? I mean, seems pretty, there's not much I can say. She's being attacked for some viewpoints she holds, and she's fighting back, and they're slandering her and besmirching her family and stuff. So yeah, there you have it. If you want to check more of her content, there you have it. Real Femme Sapien. There you have it. And then let's see what Jesse Waters has to say.
Fox News alert. We have new details on Charlie Kirk's assassination. A trans boyfriend, a secret note, and DNA.
All the links will be in the description, right?
I will. Now that the country's different.
I will post
Tonight,
it.
candlelight
Yes.
vigils are being held across American campuses. This weekend, we saw an outpouring of love, from makeshift memorials to country concert chants.
Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
There are people holding vigils for, right, Charlie Kirk. You got a bunch of people holding a moment of silence, in a sense.
It wasn't just nationwide. The whole world mourned, from London to South Korea.
Oh yeah, you got people from people from New Zealand. I mean, you got people from some of the EU countries, not all of them, obviously. But basically, the countries who, basically all the countries who love freedom of speech,
officials to congressmen to fans, to pay their respects to Charlie.
He asked me if I was scared to die, and I said to him, there's a lot worse things than dying. Sometimes our only consolation is that we can die with our boots on. We can die fighting for these things. Charlie gave his life so that the rest of us would not have to suffer those fates worse than death. Now it's our job.
Charlie died on the battlefield of ideas so that we could remain free and unsilenced. The battle lines have been drawn. Utah was a spiritual attack. This is about good versus evil.
Those who are full of anger and hopelessness and hate
so I'm
right
guessing,
now, some of them,
right? I'm guessing this is what some of the left people are saying. This is dangerous rhetoric. You can't say this. What do you mean? You guys were starting it first, right? What makes right Jesse Waters' rhetoric any different, right?
protesting outside this hall today.
For me, I see it the same way. I mean, tit for tat, right?
They do not have the spiritual happiness that Charlie experienced. They're empty. And this is where their anger is coming from. It is their rejection of God,
you can't do this. It isn't fair. What the fuck are you talking about? It was never fair to begin with.
Charlie pursued happiness vigorously and rigorously. And that's what made him the happiest, was his family, his country, and serving God. Charlie died a happy man and at peace with what he gave during his short life. And now all of us are reflecting on our lives. If we die today, are we happy with what we've done? We should all live a life like Charlie's, be moral, honest, just, and humble, and give every moment our all. Charlie Kirk did that and was a man of impact.
So I gotta ask you, if you are in here and you are under the age of 35 and Charlie Kirk touched your life, let's hear you. You know, there's a motto going around the Turning Point offices right now, and that's "We are all Charlie Kirk now." You are all Charlie Kirk now.
This is why we're all still so sad. Charlie was just like us. And if they can kill him, we're all a target. We're all outspoken. We all love debating. We're passionate about our beliefs and like to mix it up. There's nothing dangerous about that. We had a revolution so people like Charlie could speak their mind without having to die. So there's a big hole in our hearts that'll never go away.
Yeah, and you see all the people he's debating, right? They all have their own mindset, yes? They all speak their own, right? They're all speaking their own mind with Charlie Kirk, is he not, right? He's having a conversation. What's wrong with that?
That'll never go away.
Oh, but I guess we can't have
Americans
conversations
will answer the
now.
call. Charlie's widow, Erica, delivered that.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die.
We've all heard the battle cry. Americans of all ages, all political stripes are honoring Charlie's legacy. The vice president today hosted the Charlie Kirk podcast from the White House.
Filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best. My dear friend, the great Charlie Kirk. The last several days have been extremely hard. Every single person in this building, we owe something to Charlie. He was a joyful warrior for our country. He loved America. He devoted himself tirelessly to making our country a better place.
If they kill a joyful warrior, the next warrior might not be so joyful. But everybody should remain calm. Violence in response to Kirk's killing should never be the answer. No one should take up arms and stoop to the left's level. No one. Charlie loved his political enemies. After JD debated Tim Walz, here's what Charlie told him. Listen.
He asked what I thought of Tim. And I said, honestly, you know, because you get in this sort of bunker mentality in the campaign, it's us versus them. And I was like, honestly, even though I'm glad that I think I did well, and I certainly don't want this guy to become vice president, I actually kind of liked him afterwards, after 90 minutes of talking with him. And Charlie said, that's why I do all these debates. It's like you can disagree vehemently with somebody, but if you're actually communicating with them, you can appreciate them a little bit as a human being. And that's what Charlie was so good at.
Charlie liked people he disagreed with because by talking to them face to face, he recognized their humanity. He felt sorry for some of them. A faction of them were deeply misguided, ignorant, even evil. And evil has to be confronted because evil hasn't been confronted in this country for far too long.
I mean, you
atmosphere
used
was
more
ripe
terrible
for Charlie's
words than
assassin
there.
to strike. The country now recognizes it has a
these words
responsibility
are
to confront
sanitized,
evil
man. You guys use
before
more
it's too late,
fucking
before more bloodshed.
obscene words,
Click
right?
here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Anyways, there you have it,
won't get
Jesse
it anywhere
Waters,
else.
Fox News. Oh, I don't like Fox News. Well, I mean, what do you want? You want CNN? You want MSNBC? You want The View? You want to see The View? You want that pain and torture? Anyways, the people won. This is Hirohei. Let's see what's going on.
So here's
with
something
London.
rather amusing. The corporate media is once again smearing people for standing up to government overreach, for standing up to corruption. In this case, over in London, we currently have the Unite the Kingdom protest, which we'll be talking extensively about in this video. But as you can see here, the corporate media is trying to define this protest as the far right. Far-right people are gathering together, hundreds of thousands of far-right people in London. Now, the fact
Yeah,
that most of the people
yeah.
attending
So
this rally
we saw
are
the Al
actually
Jazeera
either
one, I think.
apolitical, and they're just sick of what
Yeah,
Keir Starmer has
and
been
Tustin
doing.
Times,
Those
yeah.
corrupt politicians around him as well.
And yeah,
and
BBC.
just
Yeah,
your
those
normal,
three
average, everyday
really hate
conservative.
America.
But of course, standing up to Keir Starmer,
Or
standing
just
up
hate
to
the
government corruption, well, that's just something the far
right, the
would do, according to the
conservative
corporate
movement,
press and
in a sense.
Those who would shill for them.
The
Also,
Republican
these corpos
movement.
are trying to say it's like 100,000 people. Yeah, no, try at least 1 million people. So let's check out some of this protest, shall we? here's some ground coverage from GB News.
The numbers are huge here now, and in fact, there's still thousands more actually coming down the steps in Waterloo behind us. There is thousands and thousands of
right, and you see a bunch of you see a bunch of Britons trying to get back their own country.
And that gentleman there doing the reporting, but I figured I'd give you guys another different angle here of the protest.
Just like America. Hey, that's all British flags. You got the Union
protest
Jack,
is
right?
immense. Oh, there's the aerial view. Yeah, it's been reported that there are some saying 1 million people, some even saying upwards of 2 million people. But according to the corporate press, by the way, they're trying to say there's only like 100,000 people here, which is such a freaking understatement.
Yeah.
And that's not the only spin.
Yeah, their whole you literally have people blocking all the roads. Literally, it's just a flood, a sea of people.
A few thousand people at tops, and I'll show you that too. You'll see the evidence of that. Anyways.
Yeah, they're at like the Parliament building, right? The government buildings.
And first,
and
I
shit.
do apologize. The helicopter in the background gets a bit louder here, but this clip is only like a minute long, so please do bear with me. And then we'll have more coverage without the helicopter noise right afterwards.
Why are you here?
Well, just think enough is enough with the UK. We're fed up of illegal immigration. We're not racist. We're not against immigration. We're not against people living in this country and working. We're just fed up of everything that Starmer's doing.
Oh, Keir Starmer, what will it take to put things right with Keir Starmer? I don't know what.
I like how my reaction was the same as this dude. Like, we just start laughing. Probably a lot of you viewers, too, start laughing instantly at that one. That was great.
I don't want to answer that, but we just need to get our identity back. Me, as a proud Englishman, proud of my country, and now I'm ashamed of it. I'm ashamed. You feel ashamed to fly your flag. You're not proud to be British anymore. We're losing our identity as a nation. We're appeasing everyone else, but not looking after the people that live here.
It's crazy how simply saying that you care about your country and you're unhappy with Starmer's policies on immigration and how Starmer's treating his own people and that you care about the people of your country, how saying stuff like that will get you labeled like a violent far-right extremist or a Nazi, whatever, fascist, whatever buzzword they feel like using at that point.
Oh, it's the Oxford, the new
Meanwhile,
Oxford
the
president guy
who
was a piece of shit.
Actual violent rhetoric, like this weirdo who got elected as Oxford Union president a few months back.
To effectively create change in the world we desire. And side prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation. And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
Right there, you say, right? Any means necessary. So he basically wants you to, in a sense, right, do whatever you can to make
and
change.
Just the other day, this same union president-elect will be disciplined for mocking Charlie Kirk's passing just months after they debated face to face. He had made a number of disparaging remarks towards Charlie Kirk, celebrating what happened to him, including this one right here, where he laughs. Now, returning back to Unite the Kingdom, we've got the BBC, legacy media, and liberal left wants you to believe this man protesting in London today is a far-right Nazi.
Oh,
they
apparently.
actually call him that daily. This is why they're so disingenuously
He's a far-right Nazi wearing his own country's
16
flags.
seconds on this one.
I have to come and support the event, uniting the whole country, bringing everybody together, bringing the 4 nations together. That's why I dress up and then come and support. I've been integrated, so I have to respect the culture, the people.
He's been integrated. He has assimilated.
Look at that
so
outfit,
he's a
man.
citizen.
Somewhere out there, there's BBC journalists seething, and others probably trying
He's
to
an
say
assimilated
that he can't actually
citizen.
be black
Oh,
and saying
interesting.
these things. I'm also referencing yesterday's video.
Oh, man, who
where
would've
a
thunk that?
Gay black man had expressed sadness for what happened to Charlie Kirk, despite the fact that he was also a leftist. This gay black man was a leftist, and then other leftists were saying that he can't actually be sad for what happened to Charlie Kirk and be gay and black. They literally pushed that guy out of the party. And he made a video talking about it. The BBC, legacy media, politicians, and the liberal left keep on trying to tell you that these 3 people in London yesterday are
didn't
far-right
Omar,
Nazis. That's how disconnected
Omar
from reality
Odin?
they truly are. Well, I mean, I don't know if they're disconnected from reality so much as they are
one,
just
too.
overtly lying and trying to manipulate people. I think they know very well what they're doing, and it's disgusting, and they don't care.
Real, live, and raw. Why are you here today?
I'm here in support of our country, our British patriots, and also in solidarity with our American friends
he talks about debunking the lies of Charlie Kirk, basically.
So important to be here today.
Right, because there's a bunch of people lying about Charlie Kirk.
And just to have a voice and
that's probably a good video to watch.
We can still have our free speech. It's so important. We don't want to lose our free speech.
Right, it's like the 5 conspiracy theories from Law and Order about Charlie Kirk.
This whole gathering, it's a gathering of far-right, racist scum. And they said,
oh my gosh.
Why would I want to attend something like that? So what do you think about them calling this whole group far-right racists?
Absolutely not. I think if you're from our country and you love our country, there's nothing far right about it. There's nothing wrong we shouldn't be called a Nazi just because you want to raise your country's flag. There's no other country in the world where you can be called a Nazi.
Right. Think about that. You're being called a Nazi for raising your own country's flag. Like, what?
You're far right just for raising your country's flag.
I don't know about that. I think, some people here in America would do the same thing, really.
A lot of people have had really good opportunities in this country.
You're not wrong.
My grandfather came from South Africa. He didn't get
why are you wearing
why are you
flying America's flag? It's bad.
So
don't do that.
Now, that said about weirdos in America also getting offended at people flying the American flag, I do think it's worse in Britain right now for people flying the Union Jack and St. George's Cross, and the amount of freaks out there, including people in high positions politically and high corporate press positions, smearing the people flying the Union Jack and St. George's Cross as like Nazis and far right and all that. It's definitely worse for them from what I've seen right now.
Why are you being so slanderous?
Yeah, big shouts out to our friends overseas in Great Britain, in the UK. And now we have this complete loser, Diane Abbott, who's trying to, as usual, smear the protesters as racist, as far right, blah, 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 all that boring rhetoric that is tried and failed by these individuals over and over again.
As one does,
because Diane Abbott
gotta turn up the
on
heat.
More than one occasion, had been suspended while she was a part of Labor. Over her own racist comments. Yes, she seems to be, from what I've seen, in my opinion,
you're
just
making
a
some disparaging comments, some discriminatory comments. Yes, that's bad.
Yeah, because apparently fascism is standing up to
especially
Keir Starmer's corrupt
in a
government and what
political position where you're supposed to help your constituency. Oh yeah, that's bad.
And we need to show that we are united.
So, as usual, here's more gaslighting where they try and label all of the illegal migrants as asylum seekers. And as I said before, while a small fraction of them are legitimate asylum seekers, the great majority of them are not. They're lying about that or not even trying to claim it, but a lot of them are trying to claim it despite the fact that it's a lie.
Correct.
And many of them are actually illegal migrants.
And you said this is about women's safety and girls. Obviously, the other side say this is about that issue for them too. What's your response?
They're talking nonsense. That's my
They're
response.
talking nonsense.
So it's
They're
nonsense to care
British.
about the safety
They're
of
talking
young girls
nonsense.
and women who factually, verifiably have been getting preyed upon far too many times by a number of these illegal migrants.
It's a dangerous lie.
It's a dangerous lie.
Men of colour are a threat to women. It's a very dangerous lie.
So here's more
What
for
the
race
fuck are you
baiting,
talking about,
because,
woman?
as I said, I'm sounding like a broken record a little bit now. When people are talking about the
how
horrific things that are being
yeah,
done,
how
they're
did
criticizing
how
these
did
people
it
for being
become
illegal
about
migrants and for doing these terrible,
people of
horrific
color,
things
right?
to
It's
women
the color
and
of the
young girls.
skin of men.
They're not making it about
Like,
race.
what?
They're not bringing up like the color and all that, but she is the
What?
one hyper focusing on
Where
that
did this come
as
from?
she tries to manipulate the conversation
Correct.
and steer it away from factually the terrible things that have been happening.
And I think we need to squash it.
Obviously, we've seen the protests around the hotels, housing
Dude,
asylum
do I have
seekers,
to bring
and
up
the
that one
government's
guy
response.
who was
Do you
considered
have a
white,
message
but
for
he
the
was from
government on how they
fucking
should be responding to these protests?
from the
My
fucking
message
South
to the
America?
government is they want to keep
people.
I'm guessing you guys are doing that in British land too.
Well, obviously you don't care about keeping people safe.
Misrepresenting people's
when you don't care about what's happening to these
skin
women,
color.
these young girls.
Well,
You're
you
like
shouldn't be
literally trying to
doing
gaslight,
that.
manipulate
Or
people
ethnic
about
background.
this topic. Like, what a ridiculous thing for her to say.
To be clear that these demonstrations around hotels are racist demonstrations.
So you know what? I think I get it.
They're racist.
She does want to keep people safe.
It-
She
they're
specifically
always
wants to protect
racist.
these
They're-
sick freaks,
they're
these
the ones who
predators who are doing horrific
racist,
things
not
to
us.
women and young girls. And
They're
she's
the
fine
ones who
with
are
them
bigots.
getting preyed
They're the
on,
ones who
those
should
innocent
be
people.
jailed. We didn't
She just
do
wants to
it.
protect the freaks that are
No,
getting
it's
away with this
you.
stuff. At least that's how I'm taking what she said. That's my interpretation of it. Let me know what you think in the comments. It should also be noted that Diane Abbott has strong ties to this group, Stand Up to Racism.
Uh-oh.
You might remember this picture from some of my prior coverage, where earlier, I'll say earlier in the month, I think this was actually late last month, there were more protesters.
I think I've
Protesters,
seen
of course,
this
being the
picture
people
before.
going up against Keir Starmer and what he's been doing and these immigration policies,
I think it
etc.,
was on
etc.,
Twitter
and protesting what
when I
these
saw this picture.
migrants, some of these illegal migrants have been doing, the horrific things that we just went over. Sorry to be so repetitive, but it bears repeating, especially for people that are not familiar with this. The point I'm getting at is this group, Stand Up to Racism, has been trying to smear the protesters and counter-protest against them, etc., etc., and Diane Abbott has strong ties with that group. And in the clip that
I'm
we just watched
guessing
of Diane Abbott,
she's
I
like
think she was at the United Kingdom
manager or
rally,
something?
United Kingdom protest.
I wonder how much
and
money
she
they're
was with
getting
a group
paid to
of
do all this
counter-protesters from
bullshit.
Stand Up to Racism, I presume. We can see more of these Stand Up to Racism.
These people are like
counter-protesters
living
right
off
here.
welfare and shit, right?
I don't know. How many people do you think this is? Maybe like, I'm going to be really generous and say 200, even though I think this is probably closer to like 100. The people like in this circle area here. It's clearly a minuscule amount compared to the United Kingdom protests, which, as mentioned, some reports are saying 1 million, 2 million. I've even seen some saying 3 million, though that one might be excessive. It is a bit hard to say, but certainly within the low millions. Now, to be fair, there were more Stand Up to Racism counter-protesters than just in that circle. However, even their own people are admitting that, at best, Stand Up to Racism probably had around, like, 15,000 people tops, and that's them trying to stretch the number as much as they possibly can, which even some of the mainstream like corporate media has been
there's
trying.
a million
I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video,
attendees.
actually. They've been trying to like inflate the numbers of the counter protesters, which has been failing because people actually have eyes and they can clearly see that they're being lied to by the corporate media. But the point I'm getting at is here we can see this tweet saying, "New Stand Up to Racism
so
activists
there's
have
no
admitted
aerial
defeat,
view to
describing their
even like
counter-protest as
represent
humiliating,
that, so.
and claiming that Tommy Robinson had over 1 million attendees at yesterday's Uniting the Kingdom rally." And so here's the part where they talk about the numbers really quick.
If we look at the numbers alone, Tommy Robinson's side seems to have gotten around 1 million, and on our side, lucky if it was 15,000. More likely 10,000.
I'll at least give them credit for being more honest than so many people a part of that organization have been. So at least I can say that about these two individuals. I can't say the same thing about the Metropolitan Police, however, as they actually got caught here lying and using old footage to try and smear the Unite the Kingdom protesters. Hey, Metro Police UK, why are you sharing 2020 footage and passing it off as yesterday to make it look like hostile aggression toward the police from 1 million plus people that were actually peacefully protesting? And they had said, the police had said, a crowd of Unite the Kingdom protesters attempted to enter the sterile area of Whitehall that is placed to keep
there
the
was
two
that
protests
one
apart.
incident
Officers were
like
attacked with projectiles and
5
had to use
years
force to
ago where
avoid
there
their
was like a
cordon
police
being breached.
hearing for
And while
one
the
of their
Metropolitan
police
Police did lock the
departments.
responses, so no
And,
one
like,
could
they
say
talked
anything
about
directly,
how
as
they
you can
were
see
doing,
here.
like, thought
they can't
crimes and
stop
shit.
people from quote tweeting, in
Like,
which
Jesus.
we've got a number of people calling them out. For example, this
Or,
one
like,
as well, saying, why is the Met
not-
Police using footage taken in 2020 and passing it off as footage from yesterday?
Talking
They think
about
we
how
wouldn't
they,
notice? Shocking from an organization
how
that
they
has
do
clearly
their
been overtaken
policing and they
politicized.
didn't sound
By the way,
correct
here's
with
something that's
their,
just hilarious.
guideline- right.
So Tommy Robinson
The
hired a
department
helicopter to capture aerial
guidelines.
footage of the London
He,
rally,
like, made
in
his
which
own
some of the footage
guidelines
we
or
already
some
took a look
shit.
at way earlier in the video. Here's the funny part. Anticipating that the mainstream media would misreport the attendance figures, which he was spot on about because they certainly have been trying to massively downplay this rally, this protest.
Yes.
To which Tommy Robinson had directly also called out The Guardian right here via his Twitter account, saying The Guardian reported 110,000 at our London rally today, yet literally had their own helicopter showing the millions of patriots, clown emoji, legacy media proving again they'll just lie to your face for their own agenda. This is why nobody trusts them. We are the media now. Here's something funny. Check this out. Adam Schwartz, writer and political commentator, monitoring threats to democracy from authoritarianism and tech oligarchy, followed by stand up to racism.
The oligarchy.
And he is here crying.
Are you Bernie Sanders now going on his
rally?
Oligarchy fucking
yesterday's
tour?
Far right march should serve as a wake-up call for Starmer's government. The radicalization of the public cannot be halted by government echoing far-right narratives. The government must insulate our democracy from the malign foreign interference of Elon Musk. Yeah, so this whack job is so upset at this peaceful protest that he's trying to get Starmer's government to crack down on the citizens and trying to say that it's just like it's because of Elon Musk that this happened.
It's because of
and all that. Like, bro,
this has nothing to do with Elon Musk.
This is such a desperate, empathetic look.
Yeah,
he's getting called out all in the
stretch.
responses. For example, listen to the language you use.
Yeah, how can
Far-right
one man
radicalization
possibly
of the
be the
public.
one to
Do you ever think maybe
orchestrate?
people like you are the problem? Or
Elon
do you
Musk
just
has
like
his
feel
own
superior
fucking
and smear
shit to
other
deal
people?
with over in America.
And
He's
these
got
people are not
SpaceX and
far-right.
shit.
They're
He's
normal
not
people who
doing
have had
anything in
enough
fucking UK
people
land.
like you. In a different tweet from Adam Schwartz, he also tried to downplay the Unite the Kingdom rally, saying 100,000 plus attendees. Now,
Also,
he did put the
Elon
plus
Musk isn't
there,
a
but
fucking politician.
Saying 1 million plus
What does
would be more
Elon Musk
accurate.
have anything
And of course,
to do?
going on to try and say this is just a gigantic far-right protest. And again, saying it was like led by Elon Musk in part as well.
Yeah, I don't know
yeah,
how.
So what actually happened is that Elon
I'm
Musk in a
confused.
video call
Oh, is it because
spoke
he
at
went?
the rally
Is it
for, like,
because he
15
went on
minutes or so.
screen to like
saying he
on
was
the
like leading the rally is
he was,
such
he was
a
a part of the
ridiculous
rally.
claim. Just
That-
nonsensical
yeah.
stretch right there. Nonsensical reach.
He was
And
just
of
like,
course, he also
yeah,
had the Guardian right below
guys,
that,
fight for
once
your
again,
freedom.
Similarly, I should say, and once again, actually, calling the rally a far-right rally or whatever. Similarly, Sky News was seen here trying to also say that there was only 150,000 people attending the Unite the Kingdom rally. We'll close with this. As more and more of these corrupt politicians and corpos try to lie about this rally, they'll fail over and over again because, as I said before, people have eyes. They can see what actually happened.
Look at all. Yeah, they got
and
the
how
Union
these
Jacks
people in positions of
there.
power in the press and in Starmer's government just keep trying to lie about this. Similar to how
They got
certain people
everything.
here in the States are lying about something that recently happened. But yeah, that's all I got to say in this one, guys. And my apologies if I'm a bit like tired throughout this video. I mentioned that like those 2 days off I took, I trained extra hard and like, yeah, it's all kind of catching up to me.
No, you be quiet. What are you talking about? Well, there you have it. Hirohei, he's just gonna talk about his daily to his chat. Anyways, there you have it. If you want to check out more Hirohei stuff, there it is. But yeah, that's why we went over all those videos, because they all fit the same wheelhouse of there's some things going on in basically all around the world in a sense, right? Especially with a bunch of rallies going on. But yeah, there you have it.